All right. Hey, friends. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Peine here in the Extol Media Studios in uptown New Albany at the corner of Vincent's and Market on what's looking like kind of a gloomy day. As we take a peek outside here, we can see a layer of clouds over us. And we just have a whole lot to talk about today because there's Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. This is making worldwide news, really, that is likely to be the strongest hurricane that Jamaica has ever seen. So this is a bad deal for Jamaica, Eastern Cuba, and into the Bahamas here over the next couple of days. So we'll talk a little bit about that here coming up. For our weather here locally, plenty to talk about this week as well. We're leveling off with highs in the 50s, lows near in the 40s. So a cooler week. And we're also talking about rain chances. So far, the rain is holding off to the south of most of our area, but it's close, and we'll likely have some occasional drizzle and some sprinkles moving in a little bit later today, and we can take a look at that here as well as I bring up, again, a live lookout here with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. You see it's a bit gloomier. We're starting to get into those gloomier days of fall, mid to late fall. You're typically going to get more and more of those cloudy days, and here is a look at the rain. Hey, we got some rain to track here on our Monday morning, October the 27th. You can see the rain so far is basically lining up from around Jasper, Indiana, to the southeast, just a little bit moving into Crawford County, Harrison County, and then just maybe a few sprinkles over Metro Louisville, and then that stretches down to the Bluegrass Parkway areas. So in general, that's kind of where it sets up today. It'll lift a little bit farther to the north. Rainfall totals are going to be very light to the northeast of that line that you see right there, and then a bit steadier off to the south and southwest. So today really just depends on location. Each county north you go into southern Indiana, you're going to be drier, and off to the south, generally a bit wetter for today overall. So not only that, we can bring up finally the live radar sweep. We haven't had many rainy mornings, so let's take a look at that as we get started with some of the current conditions across the area. How are you guys doing this morning, by the way? As we wait for this to load up for just a second, we'll wait for some comments to pop in, wait for some folks to get on board. Again, this is Ben at 10. This is your Southern Indiana weather show, and throughout Kentucky as well. So all around Kentucky, Monday through Friday, right here on my page, meteorologist Ben Peine. Thanks for liking or subscribing or sharing. Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. So thanks for popping in, being part of the weather family here this morning. Of course, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Love to see that representation from across the area. And feel free to, again, ask away and guide this show. This is your show here this morning. And again, as we bring up the live radar scan here out of Fort Knox and zoom in a little bit, pretty dry, around New Albany, north. Then you get west down Interstate 64. You're starting to run into some light rainfall there, probably just enough to wet the ground. So around English, a little bit of light rain that stretches into Du Bois County, into Perry County, and Harrison County, and around Corden. You can see some of this light rain over your area and into Lanesville as well. Getting just a little bit sprinkly, it looks like, over downtown Louisville and into the Highlands and St. Matthews. As we take a look down to the south, you can see some steady rain around Bardstown, Bloomfield, Willisburg, Hodgenville, where Orlean watches from, mostly dry right now. And then we've got a light rain over Litchfield. It definitely has been gloomier here over the last day or so off to the southwest, and steady rain coming down over much of Breckenridge and into Meade counties in Kentucky. So that is a little quick tour of our radar here this morning. All right. As usual here this morning, we've got Beverly Haggis popping in the comments from Borden, Indiana. And there's Orlean Whitlow with 49 degrees this morning, and the low temperature, 50 right now, and gloomy, wanting some sunshine. Yeah, we're all probably going to be wanting some sunshine by later this week. The good news is, so we've got some of this rain in parts of the area today, and then Tim Furnish saying it is cold and dreary in Madison, Indiana. Yeah, I got my morning phone call from my daughter walking back from her early morning class in Bloomington. She was like, it's chilly out here. It is jacket weather. We are in that time of the year. But as I was saying, so tomorrow morning, we might have like a sprinkle left over. Most of our Tuesday looks dry, but Wednesday looks like a washout. 100% chance of rain for Wednesday, and then into Thursday morning, the rain continues. I think we'll dry out in time for Thursday afternoon, which is good news for the Ivy Tech Trunk or Treat Fest that they are going to have there on Thursday. And then we're dry for Halloween, partly sunny and cool. So that's good if you have any Halloween plans, some trick-or-treating, some parties out there for our Friday Halloween. And then it's our first November weekend, and it's going to be cool. And we've got the time change. And we've got the big Hurricane Melissa. With all that said, we've got a lot to cover here this morning on the show. So let's take a look here. Let me get out of the full screen on that map right there and bring up something else here for you. So we're going over here. So again, there's that live cam with the falls of the ohiofoundation.org. Just looking gloomy out there with maybe a few sprinkles over Metro Louisville. Here is extolmag.com/weather. You've got a bunch of resources here right at your fingertips. You can be your own meteorologist. Our live stream is up right there. The brand new 7-day forecast that I posted, the brand new weather story that I posted that has the maps for the rest of this week as far as that rainfall is concerned. No severe weather threat with this, by the way, this week. Just too cool for that. You got regional radar there, and then here's the interactive map that you can play with. You can plop on the temperatures, which are showing 40s over much of Indiana, upper 40s, and into Kentucky as well. You can see so far it is a little bit wetter in Kentucky, and then also wetter out west of Louisville in southern Indiana down Interstate 64. This is just a slow-moving system. It'll keep some rain around today, tonight, maybe a few sprinkles tomorrow morning. It kind of moves off to the east and dissolves, and we're mostly dry tomorrow. Then another system is going to drop in for Wednesday and into Thursday morning. So, again, plenty to talk about. Here is the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. I think this name will get retired because it's going to do horrible things to Jamaica. They're talking about 30 to 40 inches of rainfall, catastrophic flooding, and mudslides. The strongest hurricane to hit Jamaica, and then it will hit eastern Cuba and then head into the Bahamas. So not a good situation there with Melissa. And the forecast here for Melissa, let me see. So I'm just kind of zooming in here. So it is as a major Category 4 or 5 hurricane hitting Jamaica tonight into tomorrow, and then tomorrow night heading towards eastern Cuba, and then into Wednesday into the Bahamas. So just a not good situation there over parts of the Caribbean. Got a few more comments popping in. We got Christian Walker with 45 degrees, 59 days until Christmas, 66 days until New Year. And by the way, I got the job at Carmel Fire Department. Congratulations, Christian. I know you've been talking about that for a while. That is awesome. So I'll congratulate Christian there. And we've got Vicky Berger watching from YouTube from Salem, Indiana. And is there a chance of flooding in Okolona? I don't think so, Jessica. I think it's going to be a long enough period of time with this rain Wednesday into Thursday morning that it'll soak up just fine. We're talking maybe about an inch of rainfall. So I'm really not concerned about flooding concerns with that. But thanks for that question right there. Before we start rocking and rolling, I want to thank our partners here, Lyons Roofing, LYONS, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You get free estimates here online at lyonsroofingco.com. They've got you covered on both sides of the river. When we get more active weather this time of the year and into the winter, you want to make sure that roof is in good shape. So if you want to get it checked out, 812-294-3595. If there's any damage, you might have to work with your insurance company. I recommend you get a quote here. They've had price reductions. I just saw it on my bill. That is good news. You don't hear that a lot these days. So American Family Insurance, I recommend you to Michael Long. Tell him I sent you. 812-578-3072. We'll get him on here live, and we'll have some chats like we do with Weddington Wednesdays with Weddington, with Brad Weddington. But again, here's his landing page if you want to get in contact with Michael, amfam.com, and then search Michael Long. And then if you want to get some more information, how to level up your career, maybe start a career, I want to recommend you to Ivy Tech Sellersburg right here. So just 9 miles north of Louisville, exit 9, right there at 311 and I-65. They've got Tuesdays at the Tech. So tomorrow, you can customize your visit, schedule a visit here online. You're going to get a consultation with financial aid counselors. You can get assistance with veteran benefits, information about student life, meeting a career coach, meeting faculty members, getting registered if you're ready to do that. They've got dozens of 2-year programs, which is going to be very important, I believe, in the economy ahead. So not only that, they've also got a cool event coming up, Trunk or Treat Fest, on their campus this Thursday evening, 5:30 to 7:30. We're going to be talking more about that with some folks from Ivy Tech Wednesday morning. I was in contact early this morning around 5:20 a.m. with the folks at Libs Paving. They're trying to get out there and do some work, but this rain is pesky today. But anyway, they have a career section, Libs Paving, L-I-B, B as in S, paving.com. You just cruise down here, and they've got maybe some opportunities for you or a friend or family member. That's libspaving.com. So again, thanks to all of our partners out there. Another live look at the gloomy conditions here at the Falls of the Ohio. And I saw some folks walking around out there. It's actually not too bad right now, unless you're out west of Louisville and southern Indiana, out towards Jasper. Starting to see some of that rain in Harrison County, in Crawford County, and Perry counties. And then pretty wet over parts of much of the Commonwealth this morning. So we'll do another tour of the radar off and on here this morning. We're going to be probably on for a while. So feel free to grab that coffee, sit back. We're going to be talking a lot this week as we've got a busier weather pattern for the last bit of October and heading into November. And a hello from Big Happy here this morning. We have Amber Terry popping in with a good morning. And Beverly Haggis saying, my son and daughter live in Olympia, Washington, and said they have been having some bad storms out there. We can take a look at that as well. Lillian Lasley with a good morning and 51, a little bit wet out there in the Grayson County area. So we'll go ahead and bring up some of the forecast information on and off radar. We're going to dig into the weather models. Typically, that's around 10:20. And then we'll do kind of a recap of the forecast. Here's a look at the weather headlines for today. Cloudy and cool pattern this week. Light rain and sprinkles today into tomorrow morning. I think a lot of our Tuesday will be dry. Plan on a steady rain Wednesday into Thursday morning. I think we start to dry out Thursday afternoon. And then a dry Halloween. Halloween is Friday, Christian. So that's fun. And then here's your play ball forecast. We've got temperatures in the upper 50s for most areas this afternoon. Cool, cloudy with light rain. Now, if you get north of Clark County, Scott County, you might not be dealing with much rain today. Drier northeast overall of Louisville and wetter to the southwest is kind of the trend for today, which we're going to see with the weather models. And again, a reminder here, it is, again, Trunk or Treat Fest. Games, music, pumpkin, crafts, trick-or-treating. Mark your calendars here for the kids to pile up that Halloween candy, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., and it looks like we'll be drying out just in time for their big event out there. So how many days until? The time change is 6 days. Of course, Saturday night into Sunday morning, we set the clocks back an hour. We get that extra hour of sleep. We'll have some earlier sunrises, but also earlier sunsets at 5:42 p.m. on Sunday. Our average highs in the 50s in about 15 days. Average first flurries in 19, and Thanksgiving in just about a month away. We've got your weather jokes, your weather history coming right up here. Today's weather history, 1913, the town of Edwardsville in southern Wales saw their deadliest tornado in United Kingdom history when a twister hit the mining town and may have killed as many as 6 people. 1929, a winter storm established a record at the time for the state of Michigan by dumping 27 inches of snow in 24 hours. 1940, in Indy, the record high for the date was set at 83 degrees. And 1967, a record low of 27 was set in Louisville for this date. 2006, an EF1 waterspout came ashore and caused significant damage to the west side of Apalachicola, Florida. And in 2014, a record high of 85 was set for today's date in Louisville. So that was, 11 years ago. It was 85 degrees. And your stupid weather jokes, which are sometimes weather-related, sometimes weather they're not. I've got 4 today, weather jokes, because they're okay. It was just like this first joke. Okay. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? Satisfactory. This one relates to weather and meteorology, and you know what my son and daughter are going through in tough math classes. Dear math, grow up and solve your own problems. We always tell our kids, grow up and start solving your own problems. That's what we're telling Matt. What do seagulls? No, not what. I need to do a correction here. Why do seagulls fly over the ocean? If they flew over the bay, we'd call them bagels. And finally, the shortest joke. I used to know this joke when I was just a little kid. And it's the shortest joke ever. A skeleton walks into a bar and orders a beer and a mop. Boom. There you go. There's your free jokes today. Your forecast today, cloudy with some light rain sprinkles off and on, 59 degrees. Our high temperature east wind at around 5 to 10. Our sunset at 6:48. Not going to see much sunshine out there today. And tonight, cloudy and maybe a little light rain and drizzle from at time to time. 49 degrees. Our low temperature east wind at around 5 to 10. And here's a look at some of the rainfall totals. Lighter north and then heavier off to the southwest. This is the rainfall total today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, all added up. And so that could get us up to about an inch of rainfall. And again, not expecting any flooding with this situation here. So tomorrow's forecast might have some sprinkles in the morning, only going about a 20% chance of that rain tomorrow. I think most of it will be dry for your Tuesday, mostly cloudy, upper 50s. Our normal high is 66. So we're about, 6 or 7 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Our sunrise at 8:05. These are the latest sunrises of the year here over the next few days before we fall back an hour. And our sunset at 6:47. We've got a good morning here from Dennis Gregory. I was passing through Bedford yesterday and starting to see the leaves starting to turn more into that fall foliage up that direction. Dropping Hannah back off to IU yesterday. Here's the 7-day forecast. So a lot going on here. We're wrapping up October through our work week and starting November this weekend. So tomorrow, Tuesday, the first day of the 7-day forecast, I've got a 20% chance of some of those morning sprinkles, but a mostly dry day with 59. Notice our lows are in the 40s, highs in the 50s. Not much variation in the temperature outlook here. 100% chance of rain Wednesday, kind of a washout kind of day. No severe weather expected with this. And then some of that rain lingers into Thursday morning. So far, it looks like the European weather model and the GFS weather model are drying things out Thursday afternoon. And then we're dry for Friday, hoping to see the clouds break apart a little bit on the cool side. So if you got that nice warm costume, you're in good shape there. And then the models have like these little fronts trying to move through, just reinforcing the cool air. And as they do pass through, there might be a sprinkle or a brief light rain shower at some point Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, and maybe some extra clouds around as well. So perhaps a touch gloomy and cool as we kick off our first November weekend, that time change Saturday night to Sunday morning. As I often say, it's a good time to replace the batteries in the smoke detectors as well. And maybe remember switch out the HVAC furnace filters as well. I got to remember to do that. I've got some fresh ones downstairs that I need to do. All right, so that's the big forecast. Now we're going to look at the radar and look at the weather model data and really dig in here. It is 10:18, so let me go ahead and get rid of that. Real briefly before I do that, one last order of business here. Hey, if you ever want to partner up with us, here's how you can contact us. I'm at I think 1.5 million views on Facebook alone on my page. So this is a great way to get your marketing out. And if you want to partner up, see your logos on our products, Ben at extolmag.com. Of course, we can do interviews like Wednesdays with Weddington, a lot of different things that we can do here with Extol Weather and Extol Media. Or if you have a weather question, there I am, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com. So there you go. And as we bring this back up here, we have got the live radar scan on. It is scanning the skies here live at 10:19 on our Monday. How's your Monday morning? Did you get some good sleep? I hope you did. Here's just some sprinkles. It looks like starting to make their way from Louisville. Did I say Louisville? Louisville. It's a Monday. to New Albany. There you can see some of this light rain cruising over the Ohio River. They're over 64 and 265. Still pretty dry up I-65 right now. And as we take a cruise down 64 westbound to Georgetown, there you can see some of that light rain to Galena and Crandall, Lanesville, Corden, getting a little bit of that light rain. Really just hugging I-64 right now, heading towards Carefree and Leavenworth, and now heading into Du Bois County. Pretty wet through English and Crawford County. And there you can see some heavier rain around Santa Claus and over the river into Kentucky as well. Now, as we hop down into Kentucky, there you can see some rain around Brandenburg, light rain around Hardinsburg and Breckinridge County, and the rain coming down in Grayson County, all the way down to Hart County and Munfordville, Bonneville, scattered showers around LaRue County and Hodgenville, and up into Lebanon Junction. Up I-65, we go into Bullitt County. Dry right now in Mount Washington, but pretty wet around Bardstown and Bloomfield and Nelson County. And Washington County, Kentucky, Willisburg, Springfield, you guys have some rainfall, dry at the moment around Lebanon and Marion County. A little spritz here and there, and some drizzle around Campbellsville there in Taylor County. In Greensburg, in Greene County, you also have a few sprinkles. So that is our tour this morning. We'll also out towards Shelbyville and Simpsonville, Shelby County, you've got maybe a sprinkle or two. Pretty dry right now over Henry, Oldham, and into Trimble counties and Carroll County as well. Nothing happening really much north of the river through much of southern Indiana. Currently still dry. Paoli, Pekin, Salem, Scottsburg, Madison, Crothersville, North Vernon, Seymour, Medora, Brownstown, Bedford, still in good shape. There is going to be kind of a sharp cutoff in the rain today, drier northeast and wetter off to the southwest. And we've got Lillian Lasley. Awesome jokes. Thank you very much. Trailer for sale or rent. I feel like I'm the king of the road. Are you selling a trailer or are you wanting to buy a trailer? Mike Sievert with a good morning. Mike, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping in the comments here this morning. Mike Sievert in the house. So that is our tour of the radar. So let's see where this goes as we take a look at the future radar. As you know, if you watched our program before here on Ben at 10, we like to start off with the HER weather model, the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, and then take a peek at the NAM 3 kilometer. So this will look at the next 48 hours or so with the high resolution data. Then we typically switch into the NAM weather model. That's the medium range. And then the GFS is the longer range weather model. And again, we will take a peek at Hurricane Melissa, which is going to be doing very bad things, unfortunately. A very raw deal here for our friends in Jamaica tonight into tomorrow. Category 5 hurricane is what this storm is down there, and heading right over Jamaica tonight into tomorrow, eastern Cuba tomorrow night, and then into the Bahamas Wednesday. So that's what we're looking at right there right now. So that now as we look at our weather model data, and let me put on the forecast. I am going to load up the 48-hour HRRR. We've got the reflectivity. So it's picking up pretty good where the rain is right now. You can see that kind of orientation of, say, northwest to southeast cutting right through Metro Louisville. As we take this into the afternoon, here is 2 o'clock. Notice it's light, but maybe spreads just a little bit kind of spotty farther to the north over parts of southern Indiana. Going into the afternoon, here is 4 o'clock. Starting to see more of that rain chance spread to the north. Here is sunset. There you can see some scattered rain across the area. Heavier off to the south, lighter to the north. And then here is around 8, 9 o'clock. Still seeing some drizzle across parts of the area. Taking us to around 10 o'clock and into the overnight hours. Still some sprinkles, a little drizzly here in spots. This is at 2 o'clock in the morning. What's up, Ian? Here is 7 o'clock this morning, or tomorrow morning, I should say. There you can see it might be just a little bit drizzly as we get started for our Tuesday morning, the 28th. But as I jump ahead to tomorrow afternoon, notice our map is mostly dry. Might be a sprinkle or two at times, but nothing heavy out there. It will stay fairly gloomy, upper 50s, a lot of clouds for our Tuesday. Right now, I've just got this at about a 20% chance of rain for tomorrow. But another system developing to our northwest. You see that up there? That's going to drop down over us for Wednesday. You might kind of see that heading our direction as I go a little bit farther in time here, there you can see that rain really starting to fill in Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So there we go. There's basically our washout Wednesday, guys. It is going to be a wet one Wednesday, a little bit breezy as well. And we've got Ann Bayens saying hello to everyone. Thanks for joining the weather family this morning, Ann, on a Monday morning at 10:25. So that's the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. Let me take this one back. This is the NAM 3 kilometer. And let me go to now. And it also is lining up the wet weather really well. Good initialization. This is at 3 p.m. Today, and it shows a little bit of that light rain cruising, sliding slowly north over parts of southern Indiana. Going to sunset here this evening. It's keeping some sprinkly stuff around, just enough to kind of be a nuisance, basically. And then this is heading into the overnight hours at 4 a.m. Sprinkle in spots. Here's around sunrise tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. There you can see some sprinkles around the area, a little bit of light green. I'm going to take this into tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. And it also has mostly dry conditions with that system moving off to the east. But we're kind of in between systems for tomorrow, so mostly dry. And then notice, just like the HER, there's that bigger system off to our northwest. So this guy is going to drop down over us Wednesday into Thursday morning. That'll be the biggest weather maker of the week, with maybe around an inch and a half of rainfall for Wednesday into Thursday. So as we look ahead here, we can kind of watch this drop into our area as we head into tomorrow night. This is around 11 p.m. and into our early Wednesday. Now, this is jumping ahead to Wednesday morning, and there you have it. It's looking pretty soggy and saturated across the area. Wednesday looks like the worst day of the week. All right, so there's our Wednesday. I'm going to pop this ahead so we can go a little bit further down the road to the NAM weather model. And I'm going to take this into our Thursday morning, which is the 30th. Let me back out our view here. And now we're heading into that is the 30th. Let me back up our view a little bit. So there's our wet Wednesday. Sorry, guys. This is wet Wednesday at 2 p.m. You can see I got a 100% chance of rain Wednesday. System right on top of us. This is going into Thursday morning. Still some rain lingering across the area, but the heart of the system starting to move off to the east. And we're hoping for some drier conditions by Thursday afternoon, which is what the GFS and the European weather model are saying. So this is at 2 p.m. Thursday. Notice some of that rain started to move off to the east, and we want improving conditions for the Ivy Tech Trunk or Treat Fest Thursday afternoon. This is at 5 p.m., so maybe drying out just in time for that. So that system starts to cruise off to the east, and let's go into our October the 31st. Happy Halloween. Here we go. It looks like once again we will begin to dry things out across the area with dry weather for our Halloween. So that is good news for the kiddos out there and any maybe Friday night parties that you might have. As I bring up the temperatures for our Halloween, it's looking like it'll be on the cool side with temperatures in the 50s, low 60s perhaps off to the south. So our temperatures are really, yep, there you go. And answering that question right now, it is dry for Halloween with that rain moving off Thursday afternoon. So there's our highs in the 50s for our Halloween afternoon. So like getting ready for trick-or-treating. And then this is at 8 p.m. Friday, dropping into the 40s. So some nice warm costumes would be good. There's our Friday evening with temperatures dropping into the 40s. That guy right there does not want to click and stay. There we go. Sometimes I don't know why that does that. All right, so there you go. It's misbehaving. There we go. That is our Friday evening at 8 p.m. And then we go into our Saturday morning. A little bit chilly. There might be some upper 30s, low 40s. But not too far off normal there for our Saturday. Now I want to go back into reflectivity, which is the rain product, your future radar, into our Saturday. So into Saturday afternoon, November 1st, it shows like a sprinkle as like a mostly dry front is trying to move through. And then into our Sunday, November the 2nd, looking mostly dry. So it might just be really fall-like this weekend. And maybe around this time, we're starting to head into the peak fall color for southern Indiana as we head into our first week of November. And also, by the way, if you have any fall foliage photos you want to share that are nice and pretty, Indiana Skies group on Facebook is our group. And I love to share those photos if you send them in. So just type in Indiana Skies into Facebook and that will pop up. And love to have you join the group as well. All right. So where are we at? We are at Sunday, November the 2nd, 5:42 p.m. sunset Sunday. It shows late Sunday evening, maybe a little rain chance popping back in. And as we go to Monday, November the 3rd, it's got a little sprinkle in the morning time. So I'd say mostly dry conditions this weekend, but there might be a passing light rain shower or sprinkle from time to time. What about the temperatures here, guys? As we start to look at the longer range outlook, it's time for, and by the way, this is still better than this, right? The snow. That is Keith Hennessy's picture that he sent me. Rain still better than snow? Yes, no, maybe so. All right, here we go. As we start to look further down the road, further this time. 10:31 and the bin on a limb. So I'm going to switch over to our temperature mode. Are there any cold air outbreaks anytime soon? Not really seeing it too much. Let me go ahead and get rid of Hurricane Melissa off the map so the map's a little bit cleaner there. There is really cold air that is bottled up here over the North Pole. Big surprise, right? You get single digits and teens and 20s over Alaska, northwestern Canada, and into Siberia. Negative numbers over Siberia. Eventually, that amount of cold air will win, and some of it drops our way. Not quite that cold. When might that happen is a big question. And we're waiting to see if we can get any of this pinkish color, that would be 20s, into our area. We've already had 30s and 40s, so that's not a big deal. So it looks like we'll have a series of fronts from time to time heading into November, but just reinforcing some of the cool air and not real cold air. So, I'm okay if fall wants to take its time. I should say winter wants to take its time. I'm just kind of going slide by slide here. This is November 5th. We're at November 5th afternoon, and it looks pretty mild. I'm going to look at the 500 millibar wind. We're up toward the jet stream here. Maybe. All right. So, okay. So here's what we're looking at. As we do a little analysis in the long run, this is into our first week of November. The jet stream is just a little bit wavy here. So it's kind of separating the cold air to the north over Canada and the warm air to the south. We're just kind of in the middle. We might have a little front move through every once in a while. It's coming off the Pacific. So with that air coming off the Pacific, we stay near normal. No crazy temperature differences. What we would need to happen is the jet stream to take a dive from northwest to southeast and really unlock that cold air. And I don't see that happening just yet. So let me clear off our little drawing there. And let's look ahead here and see if we ever see a big dive in the jet stream. This is November 6th. That would be mild air over us there November 6th with that jet stream orientation there. Yeah, this is a ridge. So if you see a hump in the jet stream like that, that typically fills in with some milder air. So we might just kind of have some up and down temperatures little above, little below normal, but nothing crazy into our first week of November. In fact, remember I just said mild air with that ridge. This is November 6th, showing temperatures in the 60s. So that wouldn't be too bad. I would take that. But a lot of times you get a warm up. It's ahead of a cold front. So let's see what comes in behind this and see if we get a dip in the jet stream behind that ridge as we go to, let's say, November 7th. I have no idea what actual day that is, November 7th. So Sunday's the 2nd, so 5 days after that. This might be like, what, Thursday or Friday? No crazy dip in the jet stream there. Going to the 8th of November. Ridge building over the region. So this is a Pacific flow. It's not a polar flow. It would be kind of a mild start to the month of November for November. That's a big ridge there on November 9th. Let me bring up the temperature map here underneath that ridge. Look at that. That's November 9th. We are on the warm side of things there. That's wild. So that would be 60s, 70s. And then the really cold air, that is a nation divided right there. Cold over the northwest, warm over the southeast. We're getting pretty far out there. So will this actually happen? We'll wait and see. We're 324 hours out with the GFS weather model, November 9th. But in general, it shows a flow off the Pacific. That's not going to bring in real cold air anytime soon. So, all right, we'll just take a look. We'll go to the very end of the GFS weather model just to play around here with our Ben on a Limb segment. There's a sharp cold front cutting right across from Chicago down to Texas, November 10th. We'll just go into November 11th, and we're about out of the GFS weather model data. So there's the front on the 11th. I mean, question mark if that ever happens. But so this would be the afternoon of the 11th, showing highs in the 40s behind that front there. And that is as far out as the GFS wants to go. So that has been good old Ben on a Limb segment. Cheers to you guys. With all of that said, all right, we have survived the nerdy portion of Ben at 10 and looked at the long range outlook. Jet stream is a little bit wavy, but it's not big divey. So it's coming off the Pacific. We might get, some little fronts every now and again. We warm up a little bit above average, a little bit below average, but no extremes here, possibly through early November. So however you want to take that, if you want winter weather, it's holding off. And we might get a little brief warm spell here and there as well. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here in the long range data for that. And we'll bring up the forecast. We'll take a look at the weather history, the weather jokes. We'll revisit Melissa, which is going to do bad things down in Jamaica tonight, tomorrow. Thinking about those folks there. I mean, this is catastrophic. They're going to have maybe up to 30 inches of rain, 160 mile per hour winds with this Category 5 hurricane knocking on their doorstep here tonight. We have Mike Sievert saying snow is better. We're getting some snow lovers, some bots. Bring on the snow, folks, in the house. Ann Bain says snow. Late good morning from John Fox. Thanks for tuning in here. Rain chances Wednesday for Carmel, Indiana. Yeah, looking like a good rain chance for you guys Wednesday as well. And Orlean Whitlow, I like to look at the long-term forecast. Yeah, I'm okay with it too. I feel like we're gradually getting our way into fall. I mean, we're mid-fall here, and it's been a pretty easy fall so far. All right, so let's bring it back up. Here's your weather headlines. Cool and cloudy weather pattern this week. Light rain sprinkles today, on and off. Steadier rain southwest, drier northeast is kind of the overall pattern today. Some sprinkles into tomorrow morning. A lot of dry time tomorrow, just kind of gloomy out there. And then our steady and heaviest rain Wednesday and into Thursday morning. We should trend drier Thursday afternoon, and then we've got a dry Halloween. So at least we're timing that out good. We'll just work through the rain this week. So our play ball forecast today, some light rain out there, cloudy, and temperatures in the 50s. We'll revisit and do a tour of the radar here in just a second as well. Sherry, I'm with you for now. No thanks on the snow. I wouldn't mind like a Thanksgiving snow, something like that. That'd be kind of fun. It's Trunk or Treat Fest this Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30, Ivy Tech campus in Sellersburg, exit 9. Games, music, pumpkin crafts, trick-or-treating. Give them that preload of a bunch of candy before Halloween. Just keep piling it up. Last them the rest of the year. And so that is a great event out there, free and fun for the family. Ivy Tech. They just had IUS Fest Saturday. I was out there. That was a fun event as well. So loving these fall festivals and Halloween festivals. Our countdown continues. Our time change 6 days, Saturday night to Sunday morning. We fall back an hour, get that extra hour of sleep, but our sunrises are going to be an hour earlier than they are now, so just after 7 a.m., and our sunsets are an hour earlier, so they'll be at about 5:42 p.m. on Sunday. Average highs in the 50s in about 15 days. Average first flurries in 19, Thanksgiving in 31 days. And our weather history for today, the town of Edwardsville in southern Wales in 1913 got hit by their deadliest tornado. As many as 6 died. 1929, a winter storm established a record at the time for the state of Michigan by dumping 27 inches of snow in 24 hours. In 1940, Indianapolis had a record high of 83 for today's date. 1967, a record low of 27 was set in Louisville on today's date. In 2006, an EF1 waterspout came ashore and caused significant damage to the west side of Apalachicola, Florida. And in 2014, 11 years ago, we had a record high of 85 in Louisville for today's date. Your goofy dad jokes of the day. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? Satisfactory. This one relates to meteorology and what my kids are going through. And, you tell your kids to grow up and solve your own problems. Well, we're just saying, dear math, grow up and solve your own problems. A lot of folks struggle with the math out there, and I get it. Why do seagulls fly over the ocean? If they flew over the bay, we'd call them bagels. A skeleton walks into a bar and orders a beer and a mop. That is the shortest joke, I believe, in history. That was my go-to short dad joke when I was like 10 years old. Sherry Coyne saying, I'd take a Christmas snow and then it can go. I don't think you're alone either. Here's your forecast today for our Monday, October the 27th. Sunset 6:48, cloudy, cool, light rain, sprinkles off and on as that light rain spreads slowly off to the north. Let me get the live radar loaded back up here as well. We'll do another tour of that before we wrap things up. On a Monday. All right, and so that's our forecast today. Tonight, cloudy and cool, light rain, drizzle, low of 49, east wind at around 5 to 10, sun up at 8:05. Kind of sprinkly to start off with. I'd say mostly dry in the afternoon, though, tomorrow. This is the rainfall total around the region. And notice lighter amounts north, heavier amounts south could add up to around an inch or so of rainfall by Thursday morning. This is adding up everything today all the way through Thursday morning. So maybe around an inch or so, not enough to really cause any flooding issues, no severe weather, just a fall rainfall. Tomorrow's forecast for your Tuesday, upper 40s out the door and some sprinkles, 55 at noon, 59 for the afternoon high. And with the washout Wednesday, a high of just 52, a raw day, a little bit breezy. Get the galoshes, get the rain gear, get the umbrella. And that rain likely will continue into our Thursday morning. And then trending drier Thursday afternoon. Halloween Friday, 58 degrees, our last day of October. Into November we go this weekend. Again, with the time change there, Saturday night to Sunday. Temperatures in the 50s. Really not much fluctuation in those temperatures with those 50s for highs, lows in the 40s. And then we might have some little disturbances or little fronts move through with some clouds, maybe a sprinkle or a light rain shower from time to time. But I still think plenty of dry time for our Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. November of 2025 is right around the corner here for us. Speaking of right around the corner, hey, there's a excavator moving on through. That is our live look here out of our Extol Media Studios in Uptown at New Albany, here at the corner of Market and Vincennes. And yeah, it's probably what it's looking like out your window as well. It's just a bit on the gloomy side. So let me remove that and add this one back to the stage. So we'll do another tour of the radar before we peace out. And there's another look live with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera, looking at the waterfront there. Got a little sprinkly. What do we got in your backyard? A little sprinkly out there, I imagine. And I'm going to need to, let me try to reload that guy. And see if we can get some fresh live sweep radar popping up. And we've got Mary Dale. Thanks, Ben. We really appreciate you. Appreciate you for being here, Mary. Thank you very much. Lily Lasley with a have a good day. And Sherry Coyne, Charlestown High School football plays in Martinsville, Indiana, Friday. What will the weather be like for the game? I think it's going to be dry and cool. It looks like you're in good shape. Probably 50s for highs, 40s during the game. I would plan on 40s, so some jacket weather, maybe a bleacher blanket out there. This is a look at the live radar. We'll do one more tour of that before we wrap it up. So we have the rain slow moving. We've had some sprinkles out here around New Albany and southern Indiana, and then the rain becomes steadier as you cruise westbound down I-64. There you can see that steadier rain around Leavenworth, Carefree, Milltown, English, Crawford County. We go westbound into Du Bois County. That rain steadier around Ferdinand and Huntingburg and Dale and Santa Claus. Perry County is wet. Louisville had a few sprinkles cruise through, and you can see some of the sprinkly stuff there around Shelbyville, eastern Shelby County. And then we're getting into some of that steadier rain in Bullitt County now. On your doorstep there, our friends in Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, Zonton, Hillview, getting in some of that rain. Used to live down that direction. Bloomfield, Bardstown, getting wet there in Nelson County. We've got a little bit of a break for much of Marion, Taylor, and Greene counties. Just some sprinkles and spots. A little steadier again there at Hart County around Munfordville, Bonneville, Hodgenville, Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Brandenburg, Irvington, Hardinsburg, Litchfield, all a little bit on the wet side here this morning. What's going to happen with this rain? Well, dry air to the north is kind of eating it up. But we do expect this to just kind of gradually shift to the north into parts of southern Indiana and northern Kentucky a little bit later this afternoon. So that is that. And we'll answer a question here for Christian. Sherry saying, thanks, Ben. Have a great rest of your day. You too, Sherry. Thanks for popping in the comments here this morning and joining the show. And here's our question from Christian with the what's the rain chance for Wednesday? Let's bring it up here with I'm going to bring it up with the NAM weather model. We showed it earlier, but we'll show it again. Future radar model of choice, the NAM, and we are going to the 29th, Wednesday. So here's Wednesday morning for you there, Christian. You see the rain over the top of you. And then this is 11 a.m. Now that's going into the 30th. Let me back this up to the 29th. Okay. 29th morning, 11 a.m. Wet, 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 wet. So I'd say it's nearly 100% chance for you there for rain in Indianapolis. All right. We are cruising right along. 10:48. We're talking for about 50 minutes here. All right, that is all we need to look at as far as the weather model stuff. And I want to give a shout out one more time to our friends and our partners at Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. You get free estimates here online. Learn more about their company right out of Memphis, Indiana, and family owned. They got you hooked up with commercial residential roofs. They can talk to you about financial help. You can learn more about what their products are, how they can help you out, reviews, all of that good stuff right there. They've got you covered throughout Metro Louisville, Southern Indiana, 812-294-3595. You might need to hook up with an insurance agent if you have any roofing issues. But also, they've had price reductions in their auto renewals. So there you go. Get a quote here with my insurance agent, Michael Long. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. He's got you covered throughout the Hoosier State, got products in the Commonwealth, I think 8 other states. But go to amfam.com, search Michael Long, tell him I sent you, 812-578-3072. Tomorrow's Tuesday. That means Tuesdays at the Tech, Ivy Tech. Go to Sellersburg, and they have so many resources here at ivytech.edu. But Tuesdays at the Tech is where you can register and get one-on-one information, whether you're in high school or, again, wherever you're at, they're going to meet you there. 20s, 30s, are you in your 40s? You want a career change? I've had a career change. They can help you out and get you started. You can schedule a visit for Tuesdays at the Tech. You're going to get consultation financially, career-wise, veteran benefits, discuss your goals, meet the faculty, and if you're all ready to do it, get registered for their sessions. So there you go. And also, there's opportunities. I was talking to these guys early this morning. Libs Paving, right out of Floyd's Knobs, the largest paving contractor around the region. Career section right there. There may be an opportunity for you, a family member, or a friend, and you can apply there at libspaving.com. One last thing, just want to mention, we're going to be thinking here about our friends in Jamaica because of this horrible hurricane. It is Major Hurricane Melissa, 160-mile-per-hour winds. It is going to make a direct hit to Jamaica, it looks like, tonight into tomorrow. Catastrophic flooding, mudslides, and winds. Then it's going to move into eastern Cuba, possibly still as a major hurricane tomorrow night into Wednesday. Wednesday into Thursday, moving still as a hurricane over the Bahamas. So that is the worst part of the weather situation here for today. One last thing. Again, if you want to contact us and if you want to see your organization, your business on some of our content, we can help you get that word out. The Southern Indiana megaphone here and beyond throughout Louisville Metro and Kentucky. For advertising and marketing solutions, Extol Weather, Extol Media. I've reached about 1.5 million people over the last 28 days, so we can definitely help you out if you want to get that word out there. So there you go. There's my contact, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason, extolmag.com. Or if you have any weather questions, feel free to reach out as well. All right, Christian says thanks, and we're going to leave it with Sherry's comment right there. Thank you guys so much for watching on a Monday. Keep some of the rain gear handy this week. Tomorrow, I think we got a decent amount of dry time. We'll look more at the hour by hour for all the rain that's on the way for Wednesday and Thursday. We've got your Halloween outlook, end of November, all that fun stuff. Plenty to talk about this week. We'll cover it all again tomorrow morning on Ben at 10. Thanks for watching on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, extolmag.com/weather. Thanks for the like or subscribe, the follow, turn on the notifications. It goes a really long way here for us. All right, you guys, have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.